Talking music. We do it all the time. Arrow.net. ARROE.net. Let's do it. Let's play it forward. These are real people, real stories, the struggle to play it forward. Episode number 466 is with Xavier Cornell from season 21 of NBC's The Voice.
I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
Absolutely fantastic. A beautiful day across the planet, hopefully.
Yeah.
So now, where are you today? Where you because creativity can grow anywhere, but where in your place of now, where are you?
Yeah, so right now I'm in New York City, actually, which is quite a ways away from where I was when we filmed The Voice. I said I lived in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go, the mess cup. But yeah, so I'm studying musical theater at Manhattan School of Music. So that's where I am right now.
Was that a culture shock to go from New York to LA? Because I mean, I went from Carolina to Los Angeles and I fell in love with the city. There's a good vibe there.
Oh yeah, New York is like completely different. Like nobody drives anywhere here. Like LA, it's all about, like having your car, having your own little space. And that's the thing about New York that I always say is like, you're never alone anywhere you go. Like it's so hard to find alone time. Like even in a restroom, like you're never alone. Yeah. So that's probably the biggest thing. But yeah, I love it. It's awesome. It's definitely different though.
Yeah, that's one thing that I picked up on because my daughter graduated from UCLA, so we spent a lot of time out there in Los Angeles, and I always felt like that creative people, come one, come all. You're welcome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%.
But at the same time, I was also in New York, and New York has got that vibe about it as well, and it's got so much history and everything.
Oh yeah, New York is it's very rich. It's always, I feel like it's always moving. Like they say that the city never sleeps. It's always just boom, 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 boom.
So when you get that phone call that says, Xavier, you're going to be in the blind auditions, how do you prepare for those 4 chairs that are you're going to be seeing the backs of them? Do you turn your chairs around at home and just practice?
No, not quite. Oh gosh, that was like one of the craziest moments of my life. It was honestly like a really interesting day actually, because I had just gotten rejected that morning from Pace University, which is where I wanted to go to study musical theater. So I'm like super down in the dumps all day, and then I'm sitting in my bed and I get a call from my producer and he says, "Hey, just so you know, you're gonna, or like as of right now, you booked a blind audition." And I was like, oh my gosh, and I freaked out, ran to my mom. Not a lot of mental preparation, honestly. It was more just like doing paperwork. That was the biggest thing. Just did a lot of paperwork, filming a lot of B-roll, like getting everything I needed to get done. And it was just like, it happened so quickly. And then next thing you know, we were in LA and we're filming the thing. And it's just like, go, 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 go. But yeah, so
yeah, because
it was a lot to do ahead of time.
All of a sudden you've got cameras around you and stuff like that. And you've got these amazing teams, directors and even grips and things like that all around you. And you're going, geez, I usually watch TV. I don't participate with it.
Exactly. It was very interesting, like seeing how the sausage was made, because I've been watching The Voice for so long, and I like seeing everybody and hearing people talk about like, okay, this is the blinds and this is the battles and this is knockouts. I was like, that's not a real thing. Like that's you hear that on TV. Like you're not a part of that, But it was so interesting. Like every little aspect of it was like wild.
Yeah. Now, my wife and I have had many conversations about that stage for NBC. Is it on from where we see it? It looks larger than life. Is it big?
No. It definitely looks bigger on TV.
Yeah.
But it is a pretty big stage. Like the thing, like especially during blinds, those things behind us, those like lights that light up when they turn chairs, like that's huge. But the actual stage itself, I don't think it's really that big, but right. I guess the way they film it with the cameras, like the angles that they use, it makes it look freaking huge. Oh, and the coaches aren't even that far away. The coaches are like 10, 15 feet away from you the whole time. It's crazy.
Whoa. See, and then you've got all those famous people that are sitting in the front seat. I mean, they're right there in front of you.
Yeah, that was freaking ridiculous. I remember walking out from my blind. That's a lie. I was pretty nervous, but like I look over and I see John Legend like doing this thing with his hands, like warming up the crowd or whatever. And I'm like, that's John Legend's freaking hand. And like that freaked me out all the more. But
I mean, it's one of those things, the experience that you guys go through, but you don't get to hear what they're saying like what we do when we're watching the show, do you? Can you hear them talking?
Talking to us?
No, I mean, like, when their backs are turned and you're singing, they're sitting there going, okay, what do you think? Okay, and I mean, you know how they talk on the other side before they turn?
Yeah. No, we can't hear any of that.
Wow.
Like, none of that.
Can you imagine if
clue.
you could hear something like that? How would you push through a storm like that?
That would be crazy. Like, I mean, I guess it would be more of a confidence builder because, like, whenever they do that, it's like, oh my gosh, like, I want to turn for this person. Should I turn for this person? And I guess at that point it's like, yeah, you should turn for me. Watch me hit this high note.
Yeah. It's so true. How did you know that sports wasn't going to be your thing? I mean, is it because you come from a pretty sports-filled family, right?
Oh yeah, my mom, she's an NC2A women's basketball referee. My dad, he was like a big basketball, baseball, football all-star when he was in school. So it's like they tried when I was younger. They put me in sports. I don't remember if it was when I was playing t-ball and I was the kid in the outfield that was like picking grass, or when I was playing basketball and I was shooting balls at the wrong basket. I don't remember when it was that we decided, okay, this probably isn't going to work for him. But and then that's kind of where music came into the picture.
So music just kind of stepped into your life then, or were you always so? Because that's one of the things, and I love music so much. I bought 45s. All of a sudden, I'm thinking I'm going to be a radio disc jockey one day, and people are going, no, you're not. You have to be good.
Yeah, man. Music kind of came into my life through church. Like, that's how I started singing. I was singing in my church's youth choir, and then just sort of from there it became a love of musical theater from there. And then even from that point, when I got to high school and I started singing a cappella and doing choir and all these things, it just became a love of the art of music in general. So it was a lot of that. And then just like songwriting sort of developed for me in like the last year with the pandemic. So it's just been like blast off, like no looking back, just like full steam ahead from that point.
I'm so jealous of your generation with a cappella, and the reason why is because when I was in high school, it wasn't a cappella. We had to do barbershop, and we had to dress up like they do in barbershop, and it's like, this is not me, man.
Yeah, I feel that. Honestly, a cappella is one of my favorite things, and like I talked about that on the show a lot. It's just like, I love the art of it so much, and I love it's insane. We never really realize what human voices can do, like, by ourselves. You know, you just take like anywhere from 5 to 10 people, put them in a circle and have them sing different harmonies. And like, that's the coolest thing about a cappella is it makes no sense when you're just singing by yourself. Like, if I'm just singing like gong, 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 dum, dum, and like that stuff makes absolutely no sense. And then when you add 5, 6, 7 other parts on top of it, it's just like, whoa, that is magic, you know. And that's my favorite thing in the world. That's
one of the things that I have all 42 tracks of Bohemian Rhapsody, and the thing is that you can go in there and you can listen to one track at a time to hear Freddie Mercury singing, and then he sings with himself, and it's just the most amazing thing. So what you just said is exactly what music is all about. It's breaking down, you know, and what you can put into the piece of art.
Exactly. That's amazing. That sounds awesome.
So then how do you go from a group to a solo performer, or is it just a mindset? I mean, because it's like being with a group, because, you know, like you said, you did theater and all that kind of stuff, but now, Xavier, it's just you on that stage.
Yeah, that was probably the biggest thing for me. Is like, I'm not used to being on stage alone performing, like, for myself as myself. That was probably the biggest thing for me, and just like being up there on not just any stage, but the freaking voice stage, and having to be like, okay, this is me, Xavier Cornell, as an artist. Like, I'm not playing, you know, some random character in a musical. I'm not playing Tevye. I'm not playing Adolfo. I'm not playing, you know, the Beast, whoever. Like, this is me. That was probably the weirdest transition, and that was probably why it took me so long to build my confidence on the show. But once it was there, it was there.
How did you handle that confidence? But when you felt it, it was like, whoa, the new me has arrived.
Yeah, honestly, it took a really long time. Like, so obviously Blinds and Battles have already aired. Like, we went into Blinds, and for that whole month that we were there, I was just sitting to myself, like, telling myself, like, there's no way. Like, I can't compete with any of these people. And then it wasn't until, and even after Blinds, like, they aired it in a weird way, but I got Kelly with like 7 seconds left. There was almost no time left on the clock, and Kelly turned around, and I was so grateful, but I was also like, dang, I knew I could have done better. And it just like, and even from that point, when we were in the top 48, like all 4 coaches had their teams of 12, I was like, I feel like I'm 48 out of 48, and I'm always trying to prove myself.
Right.
So that's why, especially when I won my battle, that was the moment of like, okay, I can do this.
Winning that battle, what do you say to yourself when you go back to the room? I mean, do you start breaking it down, or do you start working out for the next song? Because, you know, after the battles, you got the knockout rounds, man.
Yeah, that was crazy. We actually got back to the hotel from Universal, and I checked my phone and I had an email saying, "This is your knockout song. This is your cut. Go learn it." And I was like, "Oh my God!" And we had like 2 days to get a completely new song down and ready and rehearse with the band and all the stuff. But winning the battle, that was an incredible moment, like top 5 moment of my life for sure.
Yeah.
And just like it was harder for me mostly because all of my friends, because you're with these people for 2-3 months at a time. Like a lot of the friends that I gotten super super close with, they all lost their battles, and they actually all lost their battle last night. So that's all aired. Jack Rogan, Kayla Grace, and Sophia Bromberg, and seeing them all leave, that was like the hardest thing for me, and that was so difficult. So that was that was a lot of my like post battle was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm the only one that made it, because I never ever thought, because they are all such incredible singers,
right?
And the entire time that we were rehearsing for battles, I was saying like, okay, you guys are fine, it's me I have to worry about. Like, I'm the one that's probably not going to make it. And then seeing none of them make it and having me be the only one, I was like, what kind of opposite day crap is this? Like that was that was wild. But yeah.
Yeah, I've always wondered about that emotional connection, because I mean, you know how creative people are. It's a circle, and you create your own musical nation is what you do.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like it's insane how close we got in how little time. Like especially during blinds, we had this group of 5 that was myself, Kayla, Sophia, and then these 2, Marco and Serenity, who didn't turn chairs unfortunately. And we in a month got so close and was so tight knit. And it's just like, it's crazy how that happens. And I think it comes from going through this incredible experience together, and this insane experience. And we're all so anxious and we're all so excited and our dreams are coming true, but we're also so scared of being eliminated. And it's the stress that you can get cut any day. And it just like really brought us together. And we were just like family, like all 91 people that were there for blinds. That's just a family now.
It's interesting that you bring it up like that, because there was always this story that Elvis Presley and Wolfman Jack didn't get along with each other. The reason why is because Elvis knew that Wolfman Jack always had a stage, but Elvis had to look for his stage. If he wasn't on stage, he was unemployed. How do you move through things like that, Xavier? That if you're not on that stage, you ain't working.
Yeah, that's that's the life of an artist. Honestly, you just gotta. I guess the way I kind of look at it is you just got to keep going, keep looking for your stage, and like, especially it's great now in this generation, we have social media, so we always have a stage.
Right.
So if I can't physically find a stage, I can't find a gig, I can always just post on social media, like do TikToks, do Instagram, and just grow my brand that way. So That's probably the biggest thing there.
But don't you become addicted though to looking at all those analytics? It's like, I got to see how many hits I've got, man. I got to see what's the age group, what country are they listening to me from?
100%. That's probably the biggest like risk, I guess, with social media, is like you become so enthralled in it and so invested in like, oh my God, like at what point should I post? Like at what point is my like peak activity, crap like that. But as much as it shouldn't be like it is, and that's just a part of it, but what can you do about that?
I love it when a lot of the promoters and stuff like that will say, and what city is this going to be heard in? And I said, all of them. It's wherever you are, man. And they go, what time will it go on? It's like, it's not about time, man. It's just making sure we get it out there.
Absolutely.
So I love the transition that you made, that when you started taking piano lessons and you brought piano into your life as a performer. Do you think that changed your personality as that person that sings lyrics?
Oh yeah, just like having a whole nother side of music, like, because obviously singers are singers, but then when you have piano like mixed into it, I remember the first song I ever learned to play and sing at the same time was All of Me by John Legend.
Really?
And it was like, I used to play that song every day, and I just felt badass. I was like, yo, this is so sick. Like I am singing, but I'm also accompanying myself, and it's just like almost like 2 completely different worlds of music colliding, and it's just to make something absolutely gorgeous.
Well, you bring up that song "All of Me" from John Legend. You have memories like that, and then you're with him on NBC's The Voice. I'm
crazy, right?
Yeah, and I'm a wedding DJ, and that song "All of Me," I could tell you every story about every bride and groom that had it as their first song. I mean, there's just something about that song that you can't shake everything that's connected to it.
Oh yeah, I freaking love that song. That's like one of my favorite songs ever. Absolutely gorgeous, so well written. Ugh.
Do you dream of writing a song like that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I try.
Yeah.
I try my best. I try my shot at it like every day. I'm like, all right, today's the day I'm going to write something great. And then sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but
it's so funny because Randy Bachman of Bachman Turner Overdrive and the Guess Who, I was talking to him one time about all these big hits that he's had. And he says, you don't understand. You know my hits, but you don't know my strikeouts. And that's the thing that we don't know about musicians like yourself is that, no, we don't get to hear what that didn't make it past your censors. Yeah.
That's very true. It's a lot of like, I don't know, you hear in baseball, like if you're batting 300, then like that's really good. But like in music, it's almost like batting 100, you know, like 1 in every 10 songs that you write, you're like, okay, this is good. I could put this out there, you know? So like, that's probably where a lot of the work comes in, is like, okay, I just have to sit down and write, 2-3 songs today, and like try to write as much as I can this week to find 1 or 2 that are actually good enough to put out there,
Yeah. How do you deal with the post-production blues in the way that it's like, okay, I got this one, and all of a sudden it goes, it fizzles out?
Yeah, it's tough. I usually just like take a day or 2 to like recoup and then try to just like get right back at it.
Yeah. The life as a creative person, man, isn't that strange?
Yeah. Weird, huh?
Yeah, well, they do. They think we're weird, so we're just going to prove how weird we are. That's just who we are.
Exactly.
Xavier, where can people go to find out more about you, your music, your story, your journey, and show you a lot of love?
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram at Xavier T. Cornell. Same with TikTok, same with Twitter. That's all my social media handles is at Xavier T. Cornell. And yeah, I just post like, singing videos, originals. Like once The Voice is over, I'm going to be able to post more original music. I have a song ready to drop as soon as I can, so that'll be out at some point this year. But.
See, and that I'm so glad you brought that up, because that's part of the story that a lot of viewers and stuff like that don't realize. Just because you're not on The Voice anymore, your life continues, your music continues, and that's why I'm saying share the love. They've got to be there to share the love.
Exactly. So as much love as you can give me, I appreciate it. I haven't been on the show for very long thus far. You've seen me for about 1 minute total, but I'm here and I'm making music and I'm working. I hope you guys can appreciate that.
I love it, man. You got to come back to this show anytime in the future. The door is always going to be open for you, and I mean that, dude.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I love that. This has been awesome.
You be brilliant today, okay?
All right. Thank you.